Welcome everybody for joining us. Again, this info session is brought to you or is hosted by our electrical and computer engineering departments. We are all here to answer any questions that you might have. You might be exploring the different majors, as you're applying, you just put, whatever as engineering. And so you might be joining us because you have an interest in computer or electrical engineering. We have a few faculty members with us today, as well as Dr. Bob Barsanti, who is our department chair over that area. Again, we are all here to answer those questions for you in terms of what it's like to be a computer and electrical engineer as well. We're also being joined by the dean and Ms. Kristen Segales, who will be your primary advocate and student support person within your major. So with that, Dr. Barsanti, if you want to introduce yourself, maybe say a few words, get us started.
Sure. Well, first of all, welcome to all the students out there. We have a handful of students. We have a lot more than this registered for the fall semester, thank goodness. So hopefully more of them will join us as the day goes on. I have a short sort of set of slides to show you just to maybe inspire some conversation. So give me like 3 minutes of your time for the PowerPoint slides, and hopefully they'll tell you a little bit about the department in a more organized way than me just rambling on, and also provide you maybe with some ideas to ask some questions. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you and go through that relatively quickly.
Great, thanks, Dr. Barsanti. You should have the ability to share your screen.
Thank you.
Present.
See if I can find what I was looking for. Okay, so hopefully you can all see that welcome slide. So first of all, welcome to the class of 2024. This is our faculty and staff here in the Electrical and Computer Engineering Department. On my left, on the bottom left is Ms. Kristen Segales, and she'll help you with tutoring and other things that apply to your academic progress here. She's also the administrator for the department, so she could also help you with some of the paperwork as things roll forward. On my right hand is Mr. Bart Knapp. He is the departmental technician, and he keeps all the laboratories and classrooms and facilities in good working order. All the other gentlemen in uniforms are the faculty here in the Electrical and Computer Engineering Department, and so you can see that we're a pretty small department. We have a lot of experience, however, and a wide variety of backgrounds. The two gentlemen on the ends, Dr. Potts and Dr. Peoples, are former Citadel graduates. Myself, Dr. Hain, who's standing directly behind me, and Dr. Peoples are also former military officers, as is Dr. Pottasuk as well. I left him out. All the other guys there have a variety of backgrounds. Some are academics, like Dr. McKinney and Dr. Integlier, and some have some research experience, like Dr. Mazzaro. And each and every one of them have outside interests and research endeavors and working experience. So there's a wide variety of backgrounds here. And so whatever your interest in electrical and computer engineering is, someone on the faculty and staff should be able to answer your questions and help you go forward. This is what your first semester of classes should look like. And it doesn't matter whether you're an electrical engineer or a computer engineer, you have a common first semester. And there's a number of courses there. Obviously, there's a math course and some approved science courses. The approved science course will either be a chemistry course or a biology course. And that'll really depend upon the section sizes and how they wind up scheduling you in the fall. Just so you know, your schedule will be written by the registrar, so you don't have to do anything. It'll be written for you, and it'll be provided to you before you come here. If there are problems or issues with your schedule, you can take care of those pretty quickly once you get here. You'll also have an opportunity to meet with your advisor, so you'll have a chance to talk about all your classes. The couple of classes I'd like to bring to your attention If you go about four lines down, the introduction to electrical engineering, again, that will introduce you to electrical and computer engineering, and it's taught by Dr. Podasuk, who has taught this class before. And I think most students find that to be a very fun, hands-on kind of class. We do a number of projects in that class, and anything from, doing small robots and electronics, doing a little software programming, a little bit of digital drawing. So again, it's a project-oriented class, and I think most students find it to be quite a bit of fun. Second thing I'd like to bring down, let you know about on the list is freshman seminar. That's actually an elective. You get to choose from, I think, about either a half a dozen or a dozen different seminars, one of which is being taught by Dr. Podasuk, again, the electrical engineering faculty member. And it's called The Rise of Artificial Intelligence, Humans Need Not Apply. And so if you're interested in electronics or computers, that might be a good selection for a freshman seminar for people with those backgrounds. We do a whole bunch of things around here besides study and go to class. And these are just some of them. We have a bunch of outreach activities where we do robotics and trebuchets or catapults and other engineering type of things for the local community. We also have a thing called the STEM Festival, which is for basically younger people, where we introduce them to math, science, and engineering. And the students normally get involved in these activities, so if that's something you're interested in, you'll have an opportunity to participate. We also do a number of conferences and lectures, some on campus, some off campus. And I think for the most part, students find these to be very educational and add to their overall academic experience. We have a number of banquets and awards ceremonies as well, where we celebrate, not only our students' achievements, but our faculty and even some people from the local area from time to time are honored as well. And so you'll have a chance to participate in them. We do a number of competitions. We also do some robotics competitions, which are shown here. Again, we have a variety of competitions. Some are on campus, some are off campus. Some are big robots, some are little robots. And although this is an activity you normally get involved in later in your academic career, maybe your junior or senior year, certainly feel free to participate in any way you can. These will be there for you to engage in. Internships. Again, this is something you probably are going to hold off until after your sophomore year. But again, we have good relationships with the local industries, and we have a variety of internships. We've done, since the program has been instituted a couple of years ago, we've done dozens of internships. So if you're interested in doing something like that, feel free to ask me about that, and we can pretty much anybody who wants an internship can get one these days. So I think that's all the slides I have. So with that, I think I'll open it up to questions for the students who are here, and slug away.
So we actually have a question coming in from one of our participants via the chat window. And this was asked yesterday. It's a really good question. A lot of students are, still exploring engineering. How long do students have until it becomes really difficult to move between engineering disciplines or majors?
Yeah, that's a pretty easy question. Certainly you have at least probably the first year, I'd say, before things get a little tricky. Almost every one of the engineers share a common first year. There's slight differences. For example, if you take introduction to electrical engineering versus introduction to civil engineering or introduction to mechanical engineering, but most of us will accept that introductory course if you change majors. Otherwise, the math courses, the physics courses, all the general education courses are. So you have at least a year. And chances are you could probably go 2 years without, a whole lot of additional coursework to do, primarily because the engineering disciplines are front-loaded with all the general education requirements, sort of get them out of the way to free you up to do to focus on your major as a junior and a senior. So I know that's a long answer, but basically you got probably a good year and maybe 2 years if you know, if you're willing to maybe make up 1 or 2 classes.
Great, thanks. Again, to those that may have joined us a little bit later, this session is all about you and the questions that you guys might have. There's nothing off the table, so if you guys have any questions about anything, again, we've got our department chair here as well as a number of great faculty that are joining us. And actually, I would say, and don't tell anyone, the faculty over in electrical and computer engineering are probably the coolest out there. Like the stuff and the gadgets that are in their offices, the things that they do, like, I don't know, other than Dan Nail, I mean, when I grow up, I want to be you all. You know, I see Dr. Haynes' office with all the Lego sculptures in there. I mean, who wouldn't want to play with Legos all day? So looks like we've got a question coming in from Nathaniel. So for computer engineering majors, approximately what is the ratio between hardware and software classes? And I think that that's a really good question.
Yeah, you may or may not know this, but the electrical and computer engineering department here has been around for a long time, and we've been teaching electrical and computer engineering courses for a long time. However, we have just recently, last year, this will be our 2nd year, offered a separate bachelor's degree in computer engineering. But that has not really changed the classes we teach. What we've done is, in the past, as an electrical engineer, we had 4 tracks that we allowed students to pursue. And they didn't have to pick a track, but we outlined, you know, which electives we would take if you wanted to focus on communications or controls or computers or electromagnetics or whatever. What we've done is we've broken out that computer track and we turned it into a degree to sort of make it a little bit more easy to navigate. And so, that was the first thing I want to say, is that although the degree is new, the coursework and our experience in teaching this material is not new. As far as the ratio between hardware and software, people that take the computer track and now take computer engineering take more computer science type electives, which I would probably call the software end of it. Electrical engineers have always been the people responsible for designing the hardware part of a computer. And so more and more schools now are starting separate computer engineering degrees to sort of highlight that feature of their departments. So I would say, as a computer engineer, you probably take 3 or 4 additional software courses above an electrical engineering course, an electrical engineering major who is, let's say, interested in electromagnetics. Okay, so you'll probably take 3 or 4 additional computer science courses. You'll take some courses in Python programming, some courses in Java programming, and some later courses in software design in the computer science department. So I'm not sure if I did a good job of answering Nathaniel's question, but let me know if I didn't, Nathan, or ask me a follow-up if you need to.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't invite faculty to just kind of introduce themselves. When I tell you that as a student here at the Citadel, you are tremendously supported. So out of all the students that are registered for our freshman courses, everybody got an invite to come out here. And you can see the number of faculty that are still with us, even though we've got 6 out of the larger cohort of students joining. Again, this is just demonstrating how dedicated our faculty are to making sure that you feel supported and that they're here to answer any questions that you might have as a student. So maybe we can, I'll just go by my video screen here. Maybe Dr. McKinney, if you just want to introduce yourself.
Sure, be glad to. My name is Mark McKinney. I'm a professor, obviously, here in the electrical engineering department. I've been with the department over 20 years. And one of the things that I'll echo that Derek said is you will find that you will not have a faculty that is more dedicated to their students than you have right here at the Citadel, and in particular in the electrical engineering department. I think I think all of our students, if you asked any of them, would agree that that's probably one of the best things about coming here is the access that you've got to your faculty. Our offices are right here next to the classrooms we teach in. And you know, all you have to do is usually come and knock on one of our doors or walk right in one of our doors, and we're here to help. So we're very, very student focused. It's an awesome degree. You get to, as again, as Derek said, you get to play with a lot of fun stuff. I'm going to steal a phrase from Dr. Peoples here. It's not always been easy, but it's never been boring with electrical engineering. And that's very true. If you think about the advances that society's made over the last 50 years, you can point almost every one of them to being related in some way to computers and electricity. So it's a very, very exciting field to be in. I give kudos to everybody here that I'm looking at, all the names that I'm looking at here, for picking just a really exciting major to be a part of right now. I can't sit here and tell you that it's an easy path through. It's a challenging road. You have to be, I hesitate to say you have to be really good at, but you have to at least be competent at the math and science side of things. You have to like that stuff to some extent, or you're going to be miserable. It's a lot of math classes. The math is the tools that helps us do what we do. The math and science are the tools we use as engineers. A quick little bit about me, and then I'll pass it on to somebody else. But as I said, I've been with the department for 20 years. I've had lots of other research experience. Currently, I'm working with Clemson University's wind turbine testing facility here in North Charleston, doing a lot of power electronics work and design with them. You'll find that all of the faculty in our department are usually involved in some way, and usually in some pretty significant way, in outside areas, staying current in the field. So we bring a lot of experience to the table. So I'm going to pass it along. I'm going to go next in my on my screen here and pass it over to Dr. John Peoples, and let him introduce himself. And again, please don't hesitate to ask any questions of us. That's what we love. So, all right, guys.
Thanks, Dr. McKinney.
Well, since Mark introduced me, I'll take to that. I'm hoping, can everybody hear me? I'm not showing up on my own screen. I'm John Peoples. I've, like Mark, have been here for a little over 20 years. Mark's got me beat by a couple of years. I did a career in the computer industry before joining faculty. So I was Citadel graduate way back when dinosaurs roamed the earth. And then I joined the Air Force for one tour of duty and was in graduate school getting my PhD at South Carolina, and went right into the computer industry. Spent 20 years with NCR Corporation, really inventing a lot of what we know today, including Wi-Fi. 802.11 came out of some group of guys I wish I could say I was with, but I certainly knew. And we invented a lot of cool things while I was there, and I watched computers become sort of strange things to becoming ubiquitous. We wear them on our wrist and everywhere around our necks and things like that now. So I really enjoyed my time in industry, but I always had a feeling that I was going to end up in the classroom. And in the 21 years I've been at the Citadel, have never regretted a second of it. So I do want to encourage all of you guys to, guys and gals, to enjoy the rest of your summer, but come here with some excitement. And it doesn't matter if you don't know what an electrical engineer or electrical and computer engineer or a computer engineer is. What you want to do is realize that you're going to come here and you're going to learn a way to think. You're going to learn how to look at the world, solve problems, and make great decisions that are really going to work for you regardless of what you do, whether you become a public servant or own your own company or work in the government or the military or whatever, you're gonna benefit from this degree. It's applicable in every walk of life. So congratulations on choosing the Citadel. I look forward to meeting each one of you really soon. So stay safe.
Thanks, Dr. Peoples.
All
And
right.
I'd be remiss if I didn't brag on you for a minute, but you know, Dr. Peoples this year earned the Low Country Engineer of the Year award. So it was a very competitive process that Dr. Peoples beat out quite a few people, and we're glad. And obviously, his dedication to student learning is incredible. I've never heard any student say anything bad about Dr. Peoples. So thank you for that. We'll go in line here, and I see Dr. Mazzaro's next on my window here.
Okay, good afternoon, Dr. Gregory Mazzaro. Let's see, I've been at the Citadel. I just finished my 7th year of teaching here, and next year I'm going to be on sabbatical, so you might not, see me too much for about a year. I'll be working at the working with the Army. I'll get back around to that in a second. So my degrees are all electrical engineering, but they're from much larger schools. So I'm used to, my background is come from schools that are much larger and kind of impersonal. And I think having been at those schools and been at this school, I believe that we do things the right way in terms of delivering a quality engineering education to the students. I didn't really see that until I was, I experienced both sides of the coin. And now that I'm here, I think this is exactly the right way to do it. Employment-wise, when I got out of school, I worked for the Army as a civilian. I was an electronics engineer full-time for about 4 years. But the whole time I knew career-wise, it's a much longer story, but the short version is I knew career-wise that I wanted to be a teacher. I wasn't sure that I wanted to be a teacher at a residential smaller school like this one. I'm just kind of content to teach, but I'm so excited and thankful and grateful to be at a school like this one. Working for the Army is very purposeful. Being an engineer in the defense field or medical field, supporting, a way of life or a way to provide quality of life that's better for somebody is very purposeful. I also believe it's very purposeful to deliver knowledge and help students, young people seek truth and to get where they want to go in life. And I think my position here, our position as faculty puts us in the prime position to help get you guys where you want to go. So don't think of us, as students, you tend to think of faculty as kind of standoffish, at a distance types that kind of want to do their own thing, but then have to teach. And that's not how we are here. We want to teach primarily, and we want, beyond that, we want to be mentors to you, and we want to help you guys get to where you want to go in the long term. This environment is a way to help us, think of it as a vehicle for us to be able to do that. We know we enjoy engineering, we enjoy science, we enjoy technology, but we don't do it for its own sake. We do that to enable quality of life, make the quality of life better, have some purpose career-wise, and help you guys see that and get there career-wise. That's what we want to do. So I could go drill down into that for a much longer period of time, but I think I will stop there. If you guys see me, when I'm on campus and I'm going to teach you a class, it'll probably be for electromagnetic fields or something, let's say waves and fields kind of related. That's my specialty. Okay, I'm going to cut myself off there.
All right, thanks, Dr. Mazzaro. And I would be remiss if I didn't introduce a very special person that will be with you through all 4 years. Embedded within each of our various majors is we have a student program coordinator that's there to make sure we're tracking your progress. We're doing everything that we can to make sure that you're successful. And if you're not, if you're struggling, that this person is there to just kind of hear your concerns and to best support you. I'd like to introduce Miss Kristen Segalis, who again will be your advocate through your 4 years. And so if you're struggling, if you need stuff, she's the person to reach out to that can really help connect you with the different resources that are here on campus to help you be successful as a student. So Kristen?
Thank you, Derek. Can y'all hear me okay? Because I've got
Perfect.
Okay, cool. So Dr. McKinney, not to disagree with what you said. However, yes, the calculus is very difficult, but we have a lot of resources that are available to help you. So we're not going to just leave you hanging. We have tutoring, we have one-on-one tutoring, we have small group tutoring. We have all kinds of resources to help you be successful. I would say the calculus is definitely the hardest part. However, students get through it, and it's doable. So if you are willing to work hard, that's what we need. Someone that can work hard and try their best, and I am there to help you with that. So I will work with you if you are struggling, and we will get you to where you need to be. We all work together as a team, so don't feel like you're by yourself. We are here for you. So looking forward to seeing y'all.
And fun fact about both Kristen and Dr. Peoples is they're sailors. So Kristen, I know, and her husband go out on a sailboat, and I know Dr. Peoples has had plenty of time on sailboats in the past. And I think we're also being joined by Dr. Hain over here. I think he's just popping up as Ron. Dr. Hain, are you there? Okay, maybe not. But if you are and you're trying to unmute yourself, just go ahead and cut me off and jump right in and introduce yourself. I know that we have a couple of people out there that have had military service and is general awareness of what's out there in terms of military careers. And so we have a good question from, I guess, BT Welch. What kind of information can you tell us about students who are interested in a career about the military and maybe have that geared towards computer and electrical engineers?
Yeah, I'll jump on that one. If Dr. Hain was here, he could give it some good talking points as well. But you know, as an electrical engineer or computer engineer, your skills will be valued in the military regardless of which military branch you decide upon. You know, I was a naval officer. I was an electrical engineer. And my skills were very in high demand. Yeah, I got into the jobs I wanted primarily, or at least in part because of my background in education and in electrical engineering. So I think regardless of what military branch you're interested in, whether it's Air Force or Navy or Army or Marines, your background will be valued as an engineer. The president of the college, General Walters, you may not know, was a graduate of this program. He has an electrical engineering degree from the Citadel. And he rose to be the second highest military officer in the United States Marine Corps. And now he's the president of this school. So you can go as far as you want on an electrical engineering degree in any military career that you choose. And it will be a valued educational asset to you throughout your career. As far as here at the school, you have your choice of any one of the 4 ROTCs, and the scholarship opportunities presented by them are many and varied. And I am not an expert in those. We did have a session, I guess, last week about ROTC scholarships, and all the experts were there. If you missed that, maybe Derek can put up the link to the Zoom video of that, because a lot of ground was covered about ROTC scholarships at that Zoom meeting. So I hope, BT Welch, I hope I answered your question. If not, please send a follow-up.
We have a really good question from Nathaniel about students who are highly motivated to do the best that they can. I will tell you a story that I heard early on in my career about students' general fear towards math and science courses that might be difficult. What we want to do is we want to make sure that we're teaching you the best way, we're providing the best resources. And so if you think of math and science as just different languages, and that you're learning a new language, you inherently have the skills to do well in math and science and physics and things like that, because there's not a special gene. You know, if you look at Germany and all the people that learn German, there's some people that say, well, I'll never be able to learn German. Well, if you look at anybody that was born in Germany, that 99.9% of all people who are born and living in Germany learn the language. So it's not that you can't do it or that there's a special German language gene. It's not that there's a special math or science language gene. It's about putting in the work and making sure that we're resourcing you appropriately with the support and supplemental instruction and all the other ways to help you understand science and math as a language. And so I bet you if we were to drop you off in a place where you had to learn math to survive, within the first couple of weeks, you'd start being very competent in learning math and science to be able to order a hamburger or to figure out where the restroom is. So we're going to do the best that we can to help you understand this language, even though, yes, it might be a little different and difficult up front. But don't doubt yourself that you can't do it or that you're any different than anyone else. Outside of that, Nathaniel, I will turn it over to the faculty team that's here about recommendations or tips for students who are highly motivated and how they can do the best that they can.
I'll jump in here. We love highly motivated students. The sky's the limit in engineering. We've got I just got a letter. I forwarded it to the faculty yesterday. We've got a student graduated 2 years ago, just got accepted to med school. We've got lawyers. We've got people who have started their own companies and have become very, very successful. The engineering discipline is filled with highly, highly motivated people. Here within our department, the students who are highly motivated are generally the ones who are going to do really well in their classes, and they're going to have the extra bandwidth to get involved in a lot of the other things that we do as a department that are outside of the classroom. And Dr. Barsani mentioned some of those. They're going to get involved in some of the robotics competitions. They're going to get involved. We've got a student organization within our department that's IEEE, that's the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. And that's got a very active student branch. And there are conferences that you can go to with that. We offer internships. We have research opportunities with the faculty. So the highly motivated students are the ones who can really take advantage of all those other things that we offer as a department, and can really thrive in this environment. So, I almost kind of want to look at that and say, be careful how motivated you are, because we can fill it up with as much as you want. You will not have a lack of opportunities here. We tend to err on the side of providing more opportunities for the highly motivated students, to the point where it's sort of, they go, okay, well, I'm good, no more on my plate. So Nathaniel, I hope that kind of addresses that. Have no fear. You're not going to sit around waiting for stuff to do.
I'd like to add a couple of practical things. Excuse the dogs barking in the background. Two things. One is get ready. Use this summer to remind yourself of things that you took off your senior year from. I know when I was a senior, I'd carefully crafted my high school career to have mostly study halls my senior year. So you use this summer to refresh yourself. Some people get here who really hadn't seen math for a year or two. So just go refresh yourself. So use the time you've got. The second thing is, when you get to the Citadel, think about time management. Time is the coin of the realm at the Citadel. We're going to do everything we can, and I say we as the institution, not the EE department, to fill up your time. So think about how you use the time. Evening study period is the jewel of the Citadel. It is a time of day where you're protected from other duties and you're allowed to study. Try to use that time well. And on the weekends, when you have some free periods, try to divide the weekend into 3 parts and use part of it to rest, part of it to recreate, and part of it to get ahead a little bit on your studies. So be a good time manager, and you're going to do fine. So we look forward to seeing you.
Let me jump in sort of a counterintuitive way about this one. So if we say that there are highly motivated students, logically we assume that there are less motivated students, right? I'm sure you're out there. Maybe you don't want to admit it. To those who aren't highly motivated just yet about engineering, but are still in the engineering mode of thinking and on the engineering train, use your time to figure out, do some self-inspection and ask yourselves, what motivates me? Why do I get motivated about something? You don't have to figure that out right now, but it would be good to do that kind of self-reflection and keep your eyes open when you're in your first year of engineering or just college in general to say, aha, I see, that's what motivates me. And help your professors understand that very thing that motivates you. Help your professors generate an awareness of what motivates you, because we can play to that. We can help tailor your experience here to that which motivates you, and it'll help us get you from A to B to C to D to graduation to a good, well-paying, purposeful career. And I'll cut myself off there again.
All right, thanks, Dr. Mazzaro. If you happen to be watching this on YouTube as a recording, again, the conversation does not end here with this info session. We remain open to any questions that you have. My information has been provided at the start of this, so dscott2@citadel.edu. We definitely don't want you to walk away from this info session. Or again, if you're joining us on YouTube after we've hosted this, again, you're more than welcome to email me at dscott2, and I can connect you with any of these great folks that will be a part of your learning experience. We have a question about COVID, and I was waiting for that. COVID is going to be a very wait and see fluid situation. Right now, if you go out to Google and you type in the Citadel Operation Return to Campus, all of the latest and greatest information for students, parents, faculty, and staff in terms of what the campus is doing to make sure that you're safe and healthy, as well as what the fall semester will look like, student clubs and organizations and all of that. All of that information will be made centrally at, again, Google search the Citadel Operation Return to Campus. All of the latest and greatest information will be there. And actually, I can share the screen. 1 second, I'll go ahead and pull that up. Is it this one? Great. I hope I'm sharing the right one. Can you all see my screen here? Okay, so this is our Operation Fall Return 2020. So we are really centralizing all of our communication out to students, referring students and parents to this singular site. So that way there's one information source and we're not sharing conflicting information. So again, as we get closer and closer to the fall, additional details will be made available here. Whether you're a cadet, a transfer or degree completion student, or a graduate student working on an advanced degree, or you're a parent just looking for information in terms of what the Citadel is doing to make sure that everyone here is happy, healthy. All of this information will be posted right here. And then the URL, you don't have to type in the go part, you just type in citadel.edu/return, and that will take you right here. As well as last night, a few things were announced last night that there are town halls coming up. Again, all this information can be accessed at citadel.edu/return, or just Google search the Citadel Operation Return to Campus, and that information will be made there. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, go back to the chat, and see if there's any other questions that are here. I'm seeing none. So what I want to do again, whether you're joining us live or watching this from YouTube, thank you so much for joining. Again, today the conversation and the ability to ask questions doesn't end. This is just starting. This is just the beginning steps over the next 4 years of a hopefully great 4-year experience with you. And again, we will keep in touch and make sure that we continue to reach out, and we're making sure that you feel supported and that all of your questions have answers to it. So again, Thank you, Drs. McKinney, People, and Barsanti for joining. Thank you, Kristen, for introducing yourself and for all that you do for our students in the electrical and computer engineering program. And thank you to all the students who were able to join us today. Again, a version of this will be made live on YouTube and shared out via email, both to your Citadel and personal email addresses. So with that, I will stop the recording and hope everyone has a great day. Thanks for joining.